All right, in this module, what we're going to cover is the most important aspect of leadership skills, and that is personality alignment. Pay special attention to the distinct differences between the extroverts and the introverts, not only how they think, how they process, how they communicate, but also the use of silence. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. See you on the back end. All right, so when it comes to personalities, when it comes to relationships, notice that I said two key words: personalities and relationships. We all know that when conflict happens, when disagreements ensue, when things become difficult, or what, and by difficult, it can be lots of external tension or it can be a lot of cold shoulder tension. Either way, it doesn't matter. When tension is felt, a lot of us, most of us tend to say things like, oh, well, you know, it's a personality thing. And we all acknowledge that. We all recognize that, man, Mary and John, you know, it's just they have conflicting personalities, you know, or they don't understand each other's personalities. We say that a lot, but we don't then dissect that enough to kind of do something about it. We tend to be really good at reading the fact that John is this personality, Mary is this personality. They just need to learn and work better. And we kind of throw it up in the air and go, they just need to figure out how to do that. We need to kind of bring that back down to a very practical way and say, all right, well, what does that mean for John? And what does that mean for Mary? And how can we get two individuals that are so opposite to work together instead of just saying they just need to figure it out? Let me pause there. Can you guys relate to that challenge? What you have here is you have different pictures of different individuals. And what we need to first recognize and realize is that individuals tend to show their personality all the time, that we wear it on our sleeves. We use facial expressions, we use body language. And I've often been told that I should change this picture because there's one personality trait that a couple of classes about 2 months ago, I was told, Maurice, you're missing one person. So anybody want to take a guess who I'm missing?
The mad, angry person.
There you go. Okay. It's the serious, non-smiling individual.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so I am going to change that because it needs that. But oftentimes the thing about it is that we all tend to know how to mask things, because you could have a very serious individual. It can be any one of these people. Okay. The gregarious, happy-go-lucky, enthusiastic person could be any one of these. The calm, steady individual could be any one of these. The accurate, it would be so much better if we had like labels. You know, what if people had their needs written all over them? You know, if we could have a label that says, I am all about collaboration. I am all about accuracy. I am all about results. I am all about influence. So when you come talk to me, what I want to emphasize in this slide is that that's the way we are throughout the day, but we don't all stay with those labels. So for example, the gal on the left, right now, the mood that she's in is in a collaborative mood. But in 45 minutes, 2 hours from now, she could be in a different situation with a different mood, and she quickly moves to perfectionism. The guy on the left, 2 hours from now, he's going to switch from accuracy to challenging, because now he's looking at a different set of documents in a different pressure point, and he's going to move to accuracy. While the lady on the right now, she's in results, but she could be in a different situation in 2 hours, and she's going to move to being influential. Okay. And then the influential person 2 hours from now could be in a different situation, and that person can become aloof, or they can become sarcastic, or they can become gregarious. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that each individual, each human being tends to jump to different attitudes and different behaviors throughout the day based on the current mood that they're in. And that's determined or whether things are feeling negative. Probably going to manifest certain attitudes, behaviors, comments, but in 2 hours, when I'm in the middle of a different situation and I consider that to be a negative situation, I'm probably going to shift my mood. And so my attitudes are going to change. And it would make it so much easier. We could wear labels that say, hey, right now, guys, I'm in a high dominant mood. Right now, I'm in a high accuracy, conscientious mood. Wouldn't that help? That'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
You know, what this program is to help communicate that in normal, practical language so that I can say, hey, guys, I need all of us to focus on this right now. So please, everybody get very accurate with your thinking. I'd like for us to not think think big picture. I don't want us to go into influence mode. I want us to be very precise. I want us to be very accurate right now. And I want us to challenge the data. You see what I'm saying? You're setting the tone for what you need in the next 45 minutes. And you're calling everybody to mentally shift their mindset. Because if you don't tell me that's what you're needing, I'm probably going to move to my favorite style of where I'm at right now. But if what you're needing is for us to shift, well, somebody's got to say it. And so the key is what words to use so as to give everybody the playbook. Give me your thoughts, comments, observations about it. Do you see how important it is for leaders to understand and know how to do this? Because you guys will set the tone in meetings and conversations and what you need folks to shift their mind throughout conversation. Your thoughts?
Makes a lot of sense. Just about getting people on the same page and the same focus, same attention levels, you know?
Yeah. Robert, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like it. Come into a meeting and kind of really just state what we need to do and how we need to focus. I like that.
So here they are. You ready?
Mhm.
DISC. Dominant, influential, steady, conscientious. That's it. You guys will be using those terms for a long time. High D, high I, high S, high C. Okay. Low D, low I, low S, low C. That's the language to use. I need you to increase your D. I need you to lower your I. I need you to increase your S. I need you to lower your C. That's the language to use. And what's interesting is that human beings are good at one of these. They're secondarily good at a second one. All of us are only really good at one, but most of us have a secondary one that we have adapted and learned to use to balance our approach. And we all tend to be very negative on the other two. So on the dominant side, this person will more than likely be a DI individual or a DC individual. There will rarely be a DS individual because those behaviors and patterns are so far apart from each other. An I person can be an ID or an IS, and there will rarely be a BIC. You see how this works?
Yeah.
An S person, an S, it can be an SI, SC, but rarely an SD. A C personality can be CS, CD, but rarely a CI. Not that you can't find them, but those are not as common. So it's simply understanding that, okay, people can shift throughout the day going from one to the other based on what's driving them. And that's either positive or negative, likes, dislikes, love, hate, fear, hope. Either we're reacting to the environment or we're challenging the environment because we either like where we're at and we want to extend that, or we don't like where we are and we're trying to do something about it. And then by doing that, we all tend to fluctuate depending on what's been successful for us as we've grown up ever since we were born. And this is something that happens early in life. The firstborn quickly figures out mom and dad. Then that child's personality is quickly shaped to go into the hole that the mom and dad are not. Then by the time the second child comes in, the second child within months, they start figuring out, okay, mom's this way, dad's this way, this other kid is there. I'm going to move over here. And then they move into a different spot. By the time the third child comes in, there's not as much room. So then they try to fit in there. And what's interesting, by around the third and fourth child, that whole cycle begins to repeat itself. And that's why you have your firstborn and your last child are very similar. Your middle child and your second middle child are very similar because we all gravitate towards certain styles that we tend to like. So for example, firstborn children tend to be more on the left side. Second children, middle children tend to be on the right side. Third children or last children tend to be on the lower left side. And then once you have more than that, they tend to spread back out almost in that same order. Let me just stop right there and see, what do you think about that? Do you like that?
I think it makes sense. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Whether you like it or not.
That's right. It is what it is. All right. So let's look at these. All right. So the two at the top are the extroverts. The dominants and the influentials are the extroverts. The two at the bottom are the introverts. So how do you differentiate the two? What is the biggest difference between extroverts and introverts? Any thoughts?
I think extroverts are more outgoing, more willing to be seen, to be public.
Yep.
Introverts are typically more deep thinkers, more loners to themselves type people.
Very good. All right. So let me give you a couple of notes on this. Introverts tend to be linear thinkers, or it could be this: first this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this. That's how they like to think. That's how they like to talk. That's how they like to problem solve. So here is where they're thinking, and here is where they're talking. And all this right here tends to be done in their brain, not externally. An extrovert tends to do this. They think while they talk, and they tend to be up here, over here, over here, over here, over here. Yes, let's do that. I don't know. I said do that. I don't know. Let's talk back over here. You know what? You know what? Never mind. I wonder whether we should or we shouldn't. Hey, why haven't we done this? Somebody get this done. Are we going to do it? You know what? Now let's do it. You know what? Let's talk about it again. That right there is the biggest challenge between the personalities and what drives most conflict between individuals. This is why husbands and wives get in divorces. This is why dads and sons disconnect. This is why moms and daughters become distant. This is why managers and employees, this is why employees with each other, because they think differently, they talk differently, and they don't have the patience for the others. These folks do not like this approach, and these folks do not like that approach. It is offensive. It is disrespectful. These folks up here consider linear thinking to be non-communicative, independent thinking, and you're only going to tell me when you think things are exact and you don't brainstorm with me. And then the introverts feel that the extrovert approach is all over the place, it is disorganized, it is difficult to follow, and it's not worth jumping in with ideas because you're all over the place anyway. So you know what? I'm just going to wait for you. And the extroverts say, you know what? I'm not going to wait for you. And so we're going to talk, we're going to make decisions, we're going to move forward. Y'all are just going to have to be happy. And then we expect the introverts to go ahead and implement because they didn't speak up. And the introverts said, fine, hey, do whatever you want to do. I'll give you help, but it's going to be very minimal help. Okay. And that's why projects fall apart. That's why projects fall apart. That's why projects fall apart. And that's why projects fall apart. I can't say it, you know, and if they don't fall apart, they delay and delay and then delay and then delay and then delay. Thoughts, comments, observations.
It's funny.
That makes me really think about a lot of stuff in the ministry, like people who are working together. But I think when I look at our lead team, I think we kind of have a good balance of both. So,
Well, yeah, and so that's good. You will see that you have a balance. I've been looking at your profiles. You'll see. So that's why we need to see, all right, who's landing where. Do you all agree that that's who you are? Now, the second thing that I mentioned to you is this is number one. Okay, number one, the way that we talk and the way that we manifest conversation
Starts to make sense though, because there's a contingency in the room who wants order and they need things done in a timely manner, and you know, let's plan, let's be. And then there's some of us that are like, let's do it. You know,
Let's do it. Who's got time for all that? I mean,
right.
And we know you guys are going to say no anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it because you guys are going to say no now. You guys are going to say no later. And then after we implement it, you're still going to question it. So you know what? I don't have time for that.
And I don't know if it's that we're going to steamroll you, so to speak, but
it is steamrolling.
It is steamrolling.
It is steamrolling. You got to call it. You got to call it what it is, man.
Okay.
Because in their world, in the introvert world, that's exactly how it feels, and that's exactly how they're thinking. Let's be honest, Danny. As two extroverts, that is what we know we have to revert to because no one will speak up, no one will say anything, no one will move. So you know what? I'm just going to have to decide, and that's the way it's going to have to be, and that's steamrolling.
Okay.
Now, am I saying that's wrong? No, but not all the time. And so what we need to train folks is to stop getting out of that rut of not talking. But we have to create an environment to where the introverts can communicate and the extroverts can learn to listen more so we can all decide together. That's the key thing. So what did I just say? The introverts talk more, and what do the extroverts do? They listen more. And so in order to do that, we have to understand, and I'll finish off with this, you guys. We have to understand that there's a key discipline, a key habit that drives all this. Please don't miss this. Y'all ready? You want me to show you what it is? You want me to tell you what it is? All right, here it is. Ready? Here you go. There you go. That's it.
What's that?
Silence.
Yeah.
I thought I missed something.
So you ready? This is how a normal introvert speed is that they like to have in conversations. You ready? Here we go. Hey, how did you feel about Maurice's training on DiSC? Give me your thoughts. I liked it. I think that he was really good on a couple of points, but I have some concerns that it tends to pigeonhole people into a hole. See, that was 19 seconds of silence before I said anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's how fast introverts like to talk. Extroverts like to talk in fractions of seconds, like this. So what you think about Maurice's workshop? Oh man, I loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah, I mean, when he talked about the 6 seconds silence, man, I absolutely, that is just so, you know what? However, I don't know. I think he puts us in too much of, you know what? Yeah, I like it. I think, what do you think? See, it's just all over the place. And then it's like, so, hey, did you like the movie? Oh, you didn't like the movie. I didn't say I didn't like the movie. Yeah, but I asked you if you liked the movie. Yeah, I was thinking about if I liked the movie. Well, you didn't say anything. I was thinking. So you didn't like the movie. I mean, who has to think about it? It was either a good movie or a bad movie. No, I was thinking if I liked the movie. Okay, just say you didn't like the movie. I didn't say I didn't like the movie. Okay, I didn't say I didn't like the movie. I was thinking if I liked the movie. Who has to think about whether you like the movie? You know throughout the movie whether you like the movie or not. No, I don't. I like to wait until the end to see what the end is like, and then I make my decision on whether I like the movie. So if you want to know whether I like the movie, you know what? I don't like the movie with you anymore. I can tell you didn't like the movie. I didn't say I didn't like the movie. Where do you want to go eat dinner? You don't want to go eat dinner? I didn't say I didn't want to go eat dinner. The dominants and the influentials have no patience for silence, and they misinterpret it and they judge it. And then the introverts see that, and then they make the dominants and influentials pay for that because no, you're stop. And that's because we don't understand the 6 seconds of silence. The introverts like 19 seconds. The extroverts like 0.1 second. We have to meet in the middle and say, guys, you guys have to create 6 seconds of silence, and you guys have to speed up and talk within 6 seconds of silence. And that's where peace is found. It's a mutual agreement that says, I throw better, you catch better. And then you throw it back at my speed, and then I catch at your speed, and we learn to do this until we can get either a little faster or a little better. But I know that when I ask a question, I have to give you 6 seconds, but you have to use 6 seconds. You can't give me more than 6 seconds. I will slow down from 0.1 second to 6 seconds, which is a big jump because I'm slowing down, but you got to move from 19 seconds to 6 seconds. And it sounds like this. What did you think of the movie? I liked it. I have some reservations, but I liked it. Oh, cool. Can you tell me what part you liked? I liked the ending, but it didn't make sense halfway through the movie. The twist in the middle, I didn't like. It didn't make any sense. Okay. You see what I'm saying? The extrovert has to give those 6 seconds, but the introvert has to jump in. And if we don't, everything we try to do is going to fall apart because everything we're trying to discuss becomes either a pleasant conversation or an unpleasant pressure point.
I think that's great. I think it's fantastic to understand. It makes a lot of sense when you're talking to different people. It just makes me think about counseling people. It makes me think of everything, because you're in counseling and you're like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what's the problem in the marriage? Or what do you think about doing this? And they're like, and in your mind, you're like, why are you taking so long?
And then you're beginning to judge it, right? Yeah.
Right.
Robert?
Yeah, I think about recently, like in our staff meetings, we didn't have any problems, but we just noticed some kind of weird interactions, and now that kind of makes me understand, what was going on, how that person processes things.
That's it. The folks on the right are the people. The folks on the left are the results-oriented people, and then that drives these individuals to be much more now details. There's the mean face. How these folks tend to go into enthusiasm. These folks tend to go into steady calm, and how these folks tend to go into accuracy and detail, and then how that drives the behaviors that each person likes. And this screen right there is the one we'll have everybody memorize. Everybody will know that extroverts are either challenging all the way to results, all the way to action, all the way to enthusiasm, and all the way to collaboration. That's the extroverts. The people can go from enthusiasm all the way to collaboration, to processes, stability. The introverts can go from processes to stability, accuracy, and to challenge. And then the results-oriented people, they're focused on accuracy, challenging, results, and action. And then I'll show you how decision-making, really good decision-making, is simply learning to do this. Let's define what an action is that we want to do. Let's discuss it in a positive way. Let's collaborate. Let's discuss the processes, how we're going to create stability with it. Then let's look at the budget. Let's challenge the idea, make sure we're not messing up. Let's talk about the results, and let's get to action. And that's what a good meeting is. You go from the positive side of the conversation, and you eventually get to the negative side, and then you get to decision up here. Hey, everybody, great job making it through this. Go to the next module. Let's get moving to the next levels. Good luck. And again, thank you for joining the program. Honored to help you.